What if everything you've ever seen, every star, every color, every faint shimmer in the night, was only a fraction of what truly exists? Imagine you are drifting slowly through a dark ocean, the kind that never ends. Around you, the faint light of distant galaxies fades like embers cooling in the void. Ahead lies a horizon that isn't a wall but a veil, a place where light itself gives up trying to reach you. Beyond that veil, the universe continues silent and unknowable. Hey guys, tonight we're traveling together to that edge, the soft horizon of sight, the boundary between the seen and the unseen cosmos. It's not a solid edge, not something you could ever touch, but a distance measured in both light and time. We'll explore what happens when vision itself reaches its limit, when the universe grows larger than light can reveal. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And as always, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Tell me your location and the local time in the comments below, because together we stretch across time zones just like the galaxies we're about to visit. Now, if you're ready, let's begin. Imagine lying under the night sky, watching the stars. You feel small, maybe even comforted by that smallness. But what if those stars, those points of light you trust to be fixed and eternal, are already gone? What if some of them burned out millions of years ago, and their light is only now arriving? That's the first secret of the horizon. When you look outward, you are also looking backward. Every photon that reaches your eyes has been traveling for billions of years. You're not seeing the universe as it is, but as it once was. In this sense, you're not looking at stars. You're looking at memories of stars. Each ray of light is a letter sent long ago, crossing the ocean of space to find you. The galaxies we see through telescopes are ancient photographs suspended in the dark. And somewhere beyond the farthest image, we can capture the light from new galaxies hasn't reached us yet. They exist, but their story hasn't yet been told to our eyes. The universe has an edge, but not a physical one. Scientists call it the observable universe. The distance light has traveled since the Big Bang, about 46 billion light years in every direction. Beyond that, space continues. We simply can't see it, not because it ends, but because light from there hasn't had enough time to arrive. It's like standing on the shore of an infinite sea, knowing there's more water beyond the horizon, yet being unable to see past the curve. The idea is humbling. You and I live in a bubble of light, a soft cocoon of visibility, drifting inside an endless dark ocean of unlit potential. Every moment, as time moves forward, more light arrives from deeper space, and our horizon expands a little further. The cosmos is not static. Even our blindness is slowly healing. If you close your eyes now, picture yourself floating at the edge of that horizon. Around you, faint ripples of cosmic microwave background radiation whisper the afterglow of the universe's birth. That soft static you'd hear in an old television, between channels, a tiny part of it was born from that same ancient light. It's the universe still echoing its first words. And yet, for all that sound and fury, the edge of sight feels peaceful. Out there, galaxies drift away faster than their light can reach us. Space itself stretches between us like taffy. Beyond a certain distance, those galaxies are gone, not because they cease to exist, but because their light is forever trapped on the far side of expansion. It's like watching a friend walk into a fog so dense that even memory can't follow. Astronomers have measured this horizon, a line written in redshift, the stretching of light as space expands. Each photon elongates its color, drifting from blue to red, then beyond red, into infrared, then into nothing the human eye can see. When we say something is beyond the visible, we mean it literally. its wavelength has been pulled so wide that it slips through perception altogether. In this way, the universe hides not by distance, but by transformation. There's poetry in that, isn't there? That what vanishes doesn't disappear, it simply becomes something we can't yet perceive. The philosopher Lao Tzu once wrote, "The way that can be seen is not the eternal way." And perhaps the cosmos agrees. Beyond what is seen lies what is regardless of whether we are watching. Still, we keep looking. We build mirrors of glass and gold and send them into space telescopes that float like metallic petals unfolding in the void. They collect the faintest whispers of light, the last dying syllables of stars billions of years gone. Each discovery pulls the horizon outward one photon at a time. We are explorers not of distance, but of visibility pushing back the curtain of night. Some scientists say that one day, even the galaxies we see now will drift beyond reach. The universe's expansion is accelerating, driven by something called dark energy, a mysterious force stretching space faster than gravity can pull it back. Billions of years from now, the night sky might look empty. The stars of other galaxies will vanish beyond the cosmic horizon, leaving only the faint glow of our own Milky Way. Future astronomers, if any exist, will live in a sky stripped of evidence that other galaxies ever were. They'll think the universe is smaller, lonelier, because the truth will have moved too far away to be seen. But tonight, as you listen, we are still connected to that cosmic sea. The light of the Virgo cluster still touches us. The glow of Andromeda still slides through our atmosphere. The hum of background radiation still vibrates faintly in every atom. The horizon may be soft, but it's alive, a breathing edge between knowing and wonder. If you let your mind drift, you might imagine the unseen universe, not as absence, but as potential like dreams, waiting to be remembered. Perhaps beyond the edge of sight lies not nothing but the continuation of everything, a symmetry mirrored beyond perception. So let yourself float there a while, right at that border. Feel the space around you expand with each breath. The universe is not rushing away. It's unfolding gently, patiently, like a flower blooming in slow motion. And as your eyes grow heavy, remember, even darkness carries light too faint to see. The cosmos beyond our vision isn't gone. It's simply waiting quietly for our understanding to catch up. Sleep softly tonight, traveler. The horizon is vast, but it's not the end, only the beginning of sight itself. Imagine that space itself is breathing. With every cosmic inhale, galaxies drift farther apart. With every exhale, time itself seems to stretch thinner. The night sky that looks so calm and still to your eyes is in truth in motion, expanding, rippling, unfurling, like a vast fabric caught in a slow, endless wind. The story begins with a faint whisper, the first expansion, the Big Bang, when everything that ever was burst outward from a point smaller than an atom. That explosion wasn't into space, it was space itself being born. Even now, billions of years later, that first motion hasn't stopped. It continues quietly, invisibly, in every direction at once. You can't feel it, but it's happening in the very atoms of your body, the gaps between your cells, the space between stars. We often picture the universe like a room filled with stars moving through it. But the truth is more poetic. The room is stretching, and the stars are painted on its walls. They don't move through space. Space moves between them. This means that even if galaxies stood perfectly still, they'd still drift apart. The space itself, the invisible stage on which reality plays, is expanding beneath them. Think of an unbaked loaf of bread filled with raisins. As the dough rises, each raisin moves farther from the others, not because it's traveling, but because the dough between them grows. That's how the cosmos behaves. Every galaxy is a raisin, every bit of space, the swelling dough. Astronomers can actually see this expansion written into light. When we look at a distant galaxy, its light is stretched as space expands during the journey. The color drifts toward red, the longer wavelengths like a cosmic sigh. This is called redshift, and it's one of the most profound discoveries in modern science. It means the universe isn't static, but alive, a living, growing entity, still unfolding after 13.8 billion years. In the 1,920 seconds, a man named Edwin Hubble stood beneath California skies and measured that redshift. He discovered that the farther away a galaxy is, the faster it's moving from us. It was a revelation so immense that it changed our understanding of existence. The universe wasn't a fixed creation. It was an ongoing event. Every second, new space was being made. But here's the quiet wonder hidden in that discovery. Expansion doesn't mean explosion. It's not violent. It's gentle. From your window at night, the stars seem perfectly still, because this motion is so immense and so smooth that you can only feel it through time itself. Space doesn't explode, it unfolds. Imagine floating in that expansion. You're drifting not through emptiness, but within it. There's no wind, no sound, only the slow, steady pulse of distance. Galaxies like jewels, suspended in black silk, slide away their light, stretching thinner, dimmer, softer, until it fades. You might feel like you're falling, but you're not. You're being carried like a leaf in an invisible current. And that current has a name: dark energy, the mysterious force that accelerates the expansion of space. Scientists don't know what it truly is, only that it makes up nearly 70% of the universe. Some call it vacuum energy. Others call it the cosmological constant, a pressure that doesn't pull but pushes. It's the reason why the universe isn't slowing down, but speeding up, why galaxies at the edge of sight are slipping away faster than light can reach. If this sounds impossible, that's because it is, at least to intuition. The laws of physics say nothing can travel faster than light, yet entire galaxies can recede faster because space itself is stretching. The galaxies aren't moving through space. The space between us and them is growing. And because of that, there are regions of the universe that will never, ever be visible. Their light will never make it here. They've already drifted beyond the edge of sight. But perhaps there's something comforting in that distance. The unseen doesn't cease to exist simply because it's beyond view. It continues like a forgotten song, still echoing in another room. Maybe every new galaxy that crosses beyond our horizon becomes a secret, a memory stored in the dark. The universe is not shrinking in meaning, it's expanding in mystery. Einstein once said that the most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious, for it is the source of all true art and science. He understood that curiosity itself was a kind of light, one that no expansion could extinguish. And so we keep measuring, watching, dreaming. Every telescope we send into orbit is a candle we light against that dark. The James Webb Space Telescope now peers further than any eye before it. It looks back in time, capturing galaxies born just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. Some of those faint red dots are the earliest structures in existence, the first breath of starlight, the cosmic dawn itself. What we see in those deep images isn't the present universe, but the past still shining. Light, like memory, travels slowly, but never forgets where it came from. You can think of the expanding universe as a kind of dream still unfolding. We are inside it, part of its dreamscape. Every second more of the map is drawn, not because something is added from outside, but because space itself is creating room for possibility. The galaxies are not moving away to leave us alone. They're giving the universe more space to exist. And yet this growth brings a strange melancholy too. Billions of years from now, observers in distant futures may never see the galaxies we see tonight. Their skies will be quiet, their telescopes blind to the old light. To them, the universe will seem small, finite, almost lonely. They will not know that once upon a time the cosmos sang with billions of voices. But you know, right now, as you listen, you are living in an era of cosmic abundance, the brief window when the universe is still visible, still connected, still luminous. You are witnessing the night before it fades. Let that thought be both humbling and soothing. You are part of an expanding universe, a traveler on a raft of galaxies sailing through time. You are surrounded by stars that drift apart, but remain bound by the memory of their shared beginning. The same forces that stretch space also stretch your life through moments of wonder and silence. And as you breathe slowly, evenly, imagine your breath joining the rhythm of that expansion. The air entering your lungs is part of the same cosmos that's still growing, still unfolding, still whispering beyond the edge of sight. Out there, the night is still expanding, but so is understanding. And perhaps that's what it means to exist, to be both a witness and a participant in a story that never stops moving outward. Sleep now, traveler, beneath the widening sky. The universe is still growing, and in its calm, endless expansion, there is room for your dreams too. Imagine standing at the edge of time itself, peering across a boundary not made of walls or light, but of time's own limits. Beyond it, nothing you've ever known. No star, no galaxy, no whisper of radiation can reach you. You're looking toward the farthest distance light has ever traveled since the dawn of existence. This is the cosmic horizon, the ultimate line between what is known and what forever remains unseen. It sounds poetic, but it's also the most literal definition in all of cosmology. The cosmic horizon marks the limit of the observable universe, about 46 billion light-years in every direction. That number alone is dizzying. But what it really means is that the light reaching us now, the faint photons that touch our telescopes tonight, began their journey long before Earth even existed. They've been traveling through the expanding fabric of space for nearly 14 billion years, bringing us a message from the beginning. Every image you've ever seen of the cosmos, every deep field photograph, every galaxy cluster lives inside that horizon. Outside of it, light has not yet arrived. The universe could be infinite or finite, or curled back on itself like a sphere. But for now, this is the limit of our sight. We live inside a glowing bubble of knowledge, surrounded by endless darkness. And yet, that darkness is not empty. It is only waiting. When you look up at the sky, what you see isn't a flat canvas of stars. It's a time machine. The nearest starlight you see tonight left its source years ago. The light from the Andromeda galaxy began its journey about 2.5 million years ago, when early humans were first learning to shape tools from stone. The light from galaxies on the far edge of the observable universe began traveling more than 13 billion years ago, when the first atoms were forming from the cooling plasma of creation. You might say that astronomy isn't the study of space, but of memory, the universe remembering itself through light. Picture a child blowing a soap bubble in slow motion. Inside the shimmering sphere, colors swirl, bending and vanishing as the film stretches thinner. That's what the cosmic horizon is like, a fragile skin between what can be known and what will never be known. Every moment, the bubble expands a little farther, and every moment, more of the cosmos drifts beyond reach. The horizon isn't fixed. It grows as time passes because light keeps traveling. Each year, a new shell of galaxies becomes visible as their ancient photons finally reach us. The light that touches the James Webb Space Telescope tonight might have begun its voyage when the first galaxies were only faint clouds of hydrogen glowing red in the early dark. In this sense, we're always standing at the edge of arrival, catching messages that have been on their way since before our world was born. But just as more light arrives, more is lost. Space itself expands, faster and faster, driven by dark energy. Distant galaxies are receding so quickly that their light is stretched beyond the visible spectrum into infrared, into radio, into silence. Beyond a certain point, the expansion is faster than light itself can cross. That means that even if you waited forever, the light from those galaxies would never reach you. They exist, but they are forever disconnected cosmic islands beyond communication. To think about that is to face a kind of beautiful loneliness. The horizon reminds us that there is a limit, not just to sight, but to knowledge. The cosmos may be infinite, but our understanding will always have a boundary. We can map only the light that has arrived, not the light that is still on its way. Perhaps that is what makes existence precious, that we live within a finite field of awareness. A small, warm circle carved out of infinity. Scientists measure the age of the universe, not only in years, but in distance of light. 1 light year equals the distance light travels in a single year, about 10 trillion kilometers. The cosmic horizon, then, is not just far away, it's ancient. To look outward is to look backward. The farther you see, the younger the universe becomes, until time itself begins to blur. At the edge, what you find isn't darkness but a wall of light. The cosmic microwave background, the last remnant of the Big Bang, discovered accidentally in 1965 by 2 radio engineers. This faint glow exists everywhere, in every direction. It's the same radiation that once blazed from the newborn universe, now cooled and stretched by billions of years of expansion into a gentle microwave hum. If your eyes could see microwaves, the entire sky would glow with a soft, uniform light, not from stars, but from the birth of reality itself. You are bathed in that light right now. It flows through your skin, through every wall, every atom, a quiet memory of the time when everything was one. Sometimes I think of that horizon as the universe's eyelid. On one side is everything we can see, the galaxies, nebulae, starlight, and time. On the other is everything we cannot dream still sleeping. The horizon is where the cosmos closes its eye halfway, keeping part of itself a secret. And maybe that's how it should be. Because if everything were visible, nothing would be mysterious. The horizon protects the wonder. It reminds us that there is more than we can hold, that knowledge has an edge, and beyond that edge lies awe. Even the concept of beyond is slippery. There is no outside of the universe, only regions of it forever out of communication. The galaxies past the horizon are not gone. Their light simply cannot catch up. The boundary isn't a wall, but a limit of conversation between us and the rest of existence. The cosmos, in its quiet wisdom, keeps part of itself unspoken. Some cosmologists believe that beyond our horizon, there are infinite others, countless universes, each with its own physics, its own stars, its own dreams of understanding. If that's true, then what we call the universe is only one bubble in an eternal foam of creation, each horizon glinting against the next, like dew on a spider's web. Perhaps we live in just one droplet of an infinite sea, but for tonight, it's enough to rest within our own, to lie under the expanding sky and know that the light above you has traveled almost forever to arrive here now at this moment, to meet your eyes before it fades. close them gently. You're part of that light too. The universe seeing itself before drifting back into the dark. What if the stars you see tonight are the last generation of galaxies your species will ever witness? It sounds impossible, but the sky itself is slipping away. Each second, every galaxy beyond our own drifts a little farther, their light stretched thinner and redder, until one day they will vanish completely, not destroyed, but erased from view by the universe's own expansion. This quiet disappearance isn't dramatic. There is no explosion, no sudden fade to black. Instead, it's like watching the tide pull back from the shore, slow, steady, inevitable. The galaxies retreat their colors, dimming as space itself stretches the wavelengths of their light beyond what our eyes and telescopes can detect. This is the redshift of expansion, and it's happening right now to every photon on its way to us. Imagine looking at the sky through water. The deeper you go, the redder everything becomes, until color dissolves into darkness. That's what the universe does. To light across time, it drowns it in distance. Each year, millions of new galaxies cross the cosmic horizon, their light trapped forever in the fabric of expanding space. We will never see them again. Even the light already on its way to us will eventually be stretched so far that it fades into cold radio waves and then into silence. One day, billions of years from now, only our local group of galaxies, the Milky Way, Andromeda, and a few dwarfs will remain visible, bound together by gravity, even as the rest of the cosmos slips beyond reach. To future observers, the universe will seem small, still, and lonely. They will live in an island of light, surrounded by unending black. They might never know that countless galaxies once shared the sky. But you do. You live in a privileged age, a moment when the universe is still visible, when the night still hums with billions of distant suns. Every star you see is part of a vanishing conversation between light and time. The cosmos is speaking softly before its voice drifts away. When scientists realized that galaxies are not merely drifting but accelerating away from us, it shook the foundation of physics. Gravity should have been slowing everything down. Instead, something unseen, something we call dark energy, was pushing everything apart faster and faster. It's not like wind or explosion. It's more like the quiet pressure of the void itself, a force woven into the nature of space. Einstein first predicted something like it over a century ago, when he introduced the cosmological constant to balance the equations of his theory of general relativity. He later called it his greatest mistake, but the universe had the last word. The expansion he tried to cancel out turned out to be real and accelerating. His mistake was only believing the cosmos should stand still. Think of dark energy as the invisible breath of the universe, not a substance, not a field we can point to, but a property of emptiness itself. When space grows, more of this energy appears, causing even faster expansion. It's a feedback loop, written into the structure of reality, and no one fully understands it. Perhaps it has always existed. Perhaps it's the echo of some ancient field that filled the cosmos when time was new. The result is simple, but haunting galaxies are not only receding, they are escaping. Every second, more of the universe slips beyond the reach of any signal, any light, any possibility of contact. The visible cosmos is like a fading photograph, bleaching slowly in the sun of eternity. And yet, that fading is not sad. It is part of the universe's rhythm, creation and erasure, expansion and silence. Galaxies vanish, not because they are lost, but because they have completed their dialogue with us. Their light has told its story, crossed the void, and now returns to the dark from which it came. Astronomers sometimes describe this process as cosmic isolation. In a few trillion years, the galaxies we see now will be gone beyond the horizon. The stars within our own galaxy will still burn for a while. Bright blue giants, then red dwarfs, then faint white embers. But no new light will arrive from beyond. The universe will have grown too vast, its fabric too thin for conversation. Imagine a lighthouse on a lonely island. At first, you can see other lighthouses blinking on distant shores, but as the ocean widens, their light fades until only your own remains. That is the fate of every galaxy, every observer. The universe itself becomes a quiet sea, and each island of gravity is left to float alone in the dark. For us, this future is unimaginable, billions upon billions of years away. But even now, the process is underway. The light reaching your eyes from the farthest galaxies is already older than your planet, older than your Sunday. It's a message sent across time, a letter written in starlight from civilizations of matter that may no longer exist. To see the universe as it truly is, you must think in two languages at once: time and distance. The farther away something is, the older its light. You can't look at space without looking at history. The sky above you is a museum of light, each star a relic of a moment long gone. Some of those lights, as you gaze at them, have already gone out, yet their ghosts still shine, traveling toward you long after the flame has died. Isn't that beautiful? That even in death, stars still reach across time to be seen. There's a kind of quiet heroism in every photon. Born in the heart of a star, it journeys through trillions of kilometers of empty space, dodging gas clouds, cosmic dust, and the pull of gravity itself. It travels for eons, unhurried, unstoppable, carrying its single piece of information, a wavelength, a color, a whisper of origin, until it finally touches the retina of a living being on a small blue world orbiting an ordinary Sunday. You are the ending of that story. And you are surrounded by billions more pouring through you every second, cosmic memories embedded in your eyes. So the next time you stand under the stars, know that you are witnessing the vanishing act of eternity. Each glittering speck is a farewell, a love letter from a universe, still expanding, still speaking, still singing its last visible notes before the silence. The galaxies may vanish from sight, but they will not vanish from meaning, because even after they're gone, their light will remain inside us, carried in the atoms that once belonged to them, in the photons that have touched our world, in the quiet hum of memory that echoes every time we look at the night sky. The universe is not fading away. It is whispering softly beyond the edge of vision, asking us to remember what it once looked like and to dream of what still lies beyond. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the universe stripped of light. No stars, no galaxies, no glowing clouds of gas. Only an invisible architecture, vast and silent, shaping everything we know. That is what most of the cosmos truly is, not shining, but hidden. We call it dark matter, though that name is more confession than description. It isn't dark like shadow or smoke. It's dark because it doesn't interact with light at all. You can't see it, touch it, or reflect it. It passes through you right now, through the walls around you, through the earth beneath your feet, leaving no trace. And yet without it, nothing in the universe would hold together. Everything you can see, every star, planet, and person, makes up less than 5% of the total cosmos. The rest is made of two mysterious substances: dark energy, which pushes space apart, and dark matter, which binds it together. One expands, the other holds. Between them they choreograph the dance of creation. So what is dark matter made of? No one knows for sure. It might be exotic particles, invisible halos, or something even stranger, an echo of another universe overlapping our own. But we do know this: without it, galaxies would simply fly apart. The stars at their edges orbit too fast, their speed defying the gravity of the visible mass. It's as if an unseen hand holds them in place, a silent web woven through the night. Astronomers discovered its existence not by sight, but by motion. In the 1,970 seconds, Vera Rubin, a quiet and determined astrophysicist, studied how stars moved in distant galaxies. What she found didn't make sense. The stars far from the galactic center should have been slower, but they weren't. They spun with the same speed as those near the core, as if something unseen was adding extra gravity. Her work changed everything. The universe, it turned out, was heavier than it looked. Today we can map dark matter not by light, but by its gravitational pull. When its invisible mass bends the path of light from distant galaxies, we call it gravitational lensing. A cosmic mirage where space itself curves like glass. In photographs from the Hubble and James Webb telescopes, you can see arcs of blue light stretched around empty black space. Those arcs are the shadows of the unseen proof that something enormous lurks there, shaping the view like an invisible sculptor. Think of the universe as a grand tapestry. The luminous threads, the stars and galaxies are just the surface embroidery. Beneath them lies a hidden framework of dark matter holding everything together. It's a kind of skeleton for reality, an invisible lattice where galaxies form like dew drops on a spider's web. Without it, the cosmos would be a fog of scattered light, never condensing into structure, never forming stars, planets, or life. There's something deeply poetic about that we live in a universe built not only from what can be seen, but from what can't. That the visible is held aloft by the invisible, as if creation itself relies on trust, on faith in the unseen. Scientists have spent decades trying to capture a particle of dark matter, deep underground in mines shielded from radiation detectors filled with liquid xenon. Wait for the faintest collision, a whisper of an interaction between visible and invisible worlds. But so far nothing definitive has appeared. Dark matter remains a ghost. We see its footprints, never its face. Some theories suggest it could be made of WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles, heavy cousins of known particles that rarely collide with normal matter. Others propose axions, incredibly light particles that ripple through the universe like waves. There's even speculation that dark matter might be made of primordial black holes, ancient remnants from the dawn of time. Each idea opens new questions. If dark matter interacts only through gravity, does it form structures of its own dark galaxies, dark stars, maybe even dark life? Could entire civilizations exist in the shadows built from matter we'll never touch? It sounds like science, fiction, but in the language of physics, it's not impossible. Some physicists go further. They propose that dark matter may be a sign of extra dimensions, a gravitational fingerprint from realms we cannot see. Just as shadows in our world are cast by objects in higher dimensions, perhaps the gravity we attribute to dark matter is the echo of something real in another layer of space. If so, we may be living side by side with a mirror universe, one we can never enter, but always feel tugging at the corners of reality. Every galaxy, every star, might have a shadow twin just beyond perception, separated not by distance, but by the limits of sight. When you think about it, dark matter isn't just a scientific mystery. It's a metaphor for everything beyond our understanding. It reminds us that most of existence is unseen, not because it isn't there, but because we aren't equipped to perceive it. The cosmos doesn't hide. It simply doesn't reveal everything at once. Even in your own mind, there are shadows, memories, instincts, quiet thoughts that guide you without your awareness. You don't see them, but they shape your world. In that way, dark matter and consciousness have something in common, both invisible, both powerful, both holding the visible together. Perhaps that's why the discovery of dark matter feels spiritual. It suggests that the universe is not just light and fire, but also depth and silence. The stars shine, but they are held by the dark, as if the cosmos itself is a meditation on balance. Without darkness, there would be no structure. Without the unseen, there would be no seen. So tonight, when you look up, imagine the space between the stars, not as emptiness, but as presence. The dark is not absence, it's the fabric of being. Behind every point of light lies an ocean of invisible gravity, an ancient web connecting all things. You are part of that web. Your body, every atom in it, was shaped by forces that never shone by darkness, that never spoke. The universe doesn't need to be visible to be beautiful. Sometimes the most extraordinary things are those that refuse to be seen. Sleep well, traveler. You are held by the same unseen threads that bind galaxies together. And though you may not feel them, they are there, steady, eternal, quietly keeping the universe whole. What if the universe isn't just expanding? What if it's breathing? A slow, endless rhythm of creation and retreat. A heartbeat made of stars and silence. Every second space stretches a little more, and that expansion is driven by something invisible, something that no telescope can capture: dark energy. It doesn't glow, it doesn't pull, it doesn't even behave like matter. It simply pushes, an unseen pressure woven into the fabric of space-time, urging galaxies apart faster and faster. If gravity is the universe's embrace, dark energy is its sigh, the breath that carries everything away. We don't know what it is, we only know what it does. Dark energy makes up nearly 70% of the entire universe, and yet we discovered it by accident. In the 1,990 seconds, astronomers studying distant supernovae expected to find that the expansion of the universe was slowing down, dragged by gravity over billions of years. But when they measured those faint explosions, the dying breaths of ancient stars, they saw something shocking. The light was dimmer than expected. The galaxies were farther away than they should have been. The universe wasn't slowing down at all. It was accelerating. That single discovery turned our understanding of cosmology upside down. Gravity wasn't winning, it was losing. Something stronger, more mysterious, was pulling everything apart, an unseen force pervading every cubic centimeter of space. No one could explain it, so they gave it a name: dark energy, the energy of the void. But the name is only a placeholder for ignorance. Imagine for a moment that you're floating in deep space, far from every star, every galaxy, every atom. You'd think there's nothing there, only perfect emptiness. But quantum physics tells us that even the emptiest vacuum isn't truly empty. It's a restless sea of flickering particles that appear and disappear in unimaginably brief moments. They borrow energy from nothing, exist for an instant, and vanish again. This constant quantum trembling of the void might be the origin of dark energy, the pressure of existence itself. Empty space hums, and that hum has weight. Einstein, long before we discovered cosmic acceleration, predicted something similar. In his equations, he found that the universe could not remain static. It would either expand or contract. To keep it balanced, he introduced a cosmological constant, a small, mysterious term representing a uniform energy that fills space. Later, he thought it was a mistake, but perhaps he had stumbled upon dark energy decades before anyone else. Even now, physicists are divided. Some think dark energy is indeed Einstein's constant, an intrinsic property of space, unchanging and eternal. Others believe it's dynamic, like a field that shifts in strength over time, a slow cosmic tide that will one day fade or surge. There's even a possibility that dark energy might eventually reverse, turning the universe's expansion into contraction, collapsing everything back into a final flash of heat and density, known as the Big Crunch. If that happens, the universe would truly breathe, expanding, contracting, dying, and being reborn forever. But for now, it only exhales. As the cosmos expands, galaxies move away from one another, and the vast regions between them grow emptier. In the far future, trillions of years from now, the expansion will carry everything apart so completely that even light will no longer bridge the distance. The night sky will darken, the stars will burn out. The universe will become a quiet ocean of fading warmth, stretched beyond recognition by the force that created it. It sounds melancholy, but there's peace in that vision too. The same dark energy that will one day bring silence is also the reason we exist now. Without it, the cosmos would have collapsed long before life had time to evolve. Because of it, the universe lasted long enough for you to be here listening, breathing, thinking. In that sense, dark energy is not destruction. It's balance, a cosmic paradox, the emptiness that makes fullness possible. Just as you breathe in and out, so does the universe. Each inhale creates stars and matter. Each exhale gives space for wonder, for time, for awareness to arise. The two movements, gravity's pull and dark energy's push, are not enemies, but partners in a vast, elegant rhythm. Perhaps that's why the universe feels so alive, because it moves like something alive. When you look up at the night sky, you're seeing light from billions of years ago, traveling through expanding space. Every photon has been stretched by that expansion, its wavelength elongated like a note fading into silence. That redshift is the fingerprint of dark energy written into every beam of starlight. The farther away the light comes from, the longer it has been stretched. The universe carries its own echo in every color we see. Even the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang, bears its mark. What was once white-hot plasma has cooled to a faint microwave hum because space itself has grown. Every heartbeat of expansion has thinned the fire into calmness. The cosmos, in a very real sense, is aging, not like a dying organism, but like a breath that's slowly exhaled. So when you breathe, tonight, let that rhythm guide you. Inhale, slowly think of gravity, gathering, forming. Exhale, softly think of dark energy, releasing, expanding. You are part of that rhythm. You are made of atoms, born in the first stars, stretched by expansion, cooled by time. You are not outside the universe's breath. You are one of its lungs. There's a theory called the cosmic event horizon, which says that because of dark energy, there's a limit to how far we can ever communicate. Anything beyond that boundary will recede faster than light can travel. Messages, signals, or dreams sent across that gulf will never arrive. And yet, even as the horizon grows, we continue to reach for it, to send telescopes, radio waves, and thought itself toward the invisible. It's almost as if the universe designed consciousness to be its own rebellion against separation. Every time you look at the stars, you are resisting entropy, pushing back against the quiet drift toward isolation. You are the universe trying to keep in touch with itself. One day the stars will fade and space will grow silent. But that silence won't be empty. It will be full of memory, the afterglow of everything that ever was. In that darkness, the breath of the cosmos will continue unseen, unending. Perhaps it will inhale again. Perhaps it already has in universes before this one. For now, though we exist in the middle of that breath, the long, slow exhale of creation. And there's something profoundly calming in that. Close your eyes. Feel the expansion around you. Each heartbeat, each breath, is the rhythm of galaxies drifting apart, the echo of a universe that's still unfolding, still exhaling, still dreaming. The darkness that pushes everything away is also the same darkness that cradles you now. It is not an ending. It is the soft breath of existence itself. Sleep well, child of the cosmos. The night around you isn't empty, it's breathing with you. What if the oldest light in the universe is still on its way to us right now, gliding through space like a slow river of memory? Every time you look at the sky, you're bathing in ancient light. It's faint, stretched thin, and cooled by time. But it never truly went out. It has been traveling for nearly 14 billion years, whispering stories from when the universe was young enough to fit inside a single thought. That light is called the cosmic microwave background, the oldest thing we can see, the soft afterglow of the Big Bang itself. It fills all of space in every direction, an invisible ocean of warmth, only detectable with special instruments. If your eyes could see microwaves, the entire sky would shimmer in pale gold, smooth and endless, a silent remnant of creation's first dawn. It was born when the universe was just 3,800,000 years old. A newborn compared to the trillions of years it will one day live. Back then, the cosmos was not made of stars and planets, but of plasma, a glowing fog of light and matter so hot and dense that photons couldn't travel freely. Light existed, but it couldn't escape. Every ray bounced between charged particles, like a song trapped in its own echo chamber. Then something miraculous happened. As the universe expanded, it cooled. Protons and electrons began to join together to form the first atoms. The fog thinned, and for the first time in history, light broke free. Those first liberated photons rushed outward in every direction, carrying with them the imprint of that primordial moment. They've been traveling ever since, stretching and softening as space itself expanded. That is the ancient light still arriving. Every photon from that age is a survivor, a messenger, from a time when the cosmos was young and fire-filled. You can feel it right now, even in your home. Roughly 1% of the static you'd see on an old television screen comes from that very radiation, the background hum of the Big Bang reaching your eyes. It's humbling, isn't it? The universe's oldest memory flickers quietly between channels. When scientists first detected that signal in 1965, they didn't know what they'd found. Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson were working on a radio antenna in New Jersey, trying to eliminate a mysterious noise that wouldn't go away. They cleaned the equipment. They checked for interference. They even removed nesting pigeons from inside the dish, thinking the birds might be responsible for the static. But the hiss remained. It came from every direction, constant and unchanging. What they had discovered was the faint echo of creation, the light from the universe's first breath. It wasn't noise at all. It was history. That discovery changed cosmology forever. Suddenly, the Big Bang was no longer theory, but evidence, not an idea, but a measurable fact. The universe had once been hotter, denser, and more radiant than we could imagine. And that heat, stretched by expansion, had cooled into a soft glow that still fills the cosmos today, at a temperature of just 2.7 Kelvin, barely above absolute zero. Think of that for a moment. The night sky isn't black. It's faintly glowing with the residue of its own birth. If you could listen to it, the sound would be almost imperceptible, a gentle hum, deeper than music, softer than silence. Every square centimeter of your body is bathed in billions of those ancient photons every second. They pass through you, through everything, carrying with them the story of the first dawn. You are literally surrounded by the past. This background light isn't uniform. Tiny ripples, variations in temperature and density, mark the seeds of everything that would one day exist. The small differences, 1 part in 100,000, are what allowed matter to clump together, forming galaxies, stars, planets, and eventually you. Without those ripples, the universe would have remained a smooth fog forever, a featureless ocean of hydrogen and helium. When you look at modern maps of the cosmic microwave background, blue and red speckles showing minute temperature changes, you're seeing the earliest fingerprints of structure. Those delicate imbalances are the reason you exist. In the smallest fluctuations, the universe was already dreaming of life. Every atom in your body was once part of that early radiation field. Every electron was there humming in that primordial fire. When the light broke free, it scattered, cooled, and slowed. But the matter it left behind became stars. Those stars created the heavier elements that became oceans, lungs, bones, and thought. You are quite literally made of ancient light that has learned to think about itself. As space expands, that old light continues to stretch. Its wavelength grows longer and longer, from blinding white to red to invisible microwave, as if time itself were exhaling it. Billions of years from now, the expansion will have cooled it even more. The cosmic background will fade into radio waves so weak that no living eye will ever detect it again. The memory of the Big Bang will dissolve into the silence of eternity. But for now, it's still here, gentle, persistent, omnipresent. The light that began before there were stars still touches your skin every day. Even if you never look up, even if you sleep through the night, it's there, passing through your pillow, through your dreams, through the very air that carries your breath. In a way, this ancient light is proof that the universe never forgets. It remembers its beginnings, and it shares them quietly everywhere to anyone who listens. You don't need a telescope to feel it. You only need to pause and imagine the warmth of something so old that time itself grew from it. The next time you step outside under the stars, think of yourself as standing in a river of light that began before stars were born. Every inch of space between you and the horizon is filled with it unseen, eternal, humming softly. You are swimming in the oldest story ever told. So breathe slowly. Let your thoughts drift backward, past the galaxies, past the first stars, past the atoms themselves, back to that original brightness where everything began. The universe is still sending its first message, and you right now are hearing it. That message is simple. It says, I am still here. What if time isn't a straight road, but a reflection, a mirror bending under light, curving back toward you as you move through it? Every time you look up at the night sky, you're not just gazing into space. You're looking into a mirror made of time. The deeper you look, the further back you see, not metaphorically but literally. Each star is a photograph from a different era. Each galaxy is an ancient reflection of itself frozen in the moment its light began the journey to your eyes. The universe doesn't show itself all at once. It reveals its story slowly in layers. You are standing on the newest page of a book still being written, reading the older ones through a glass of light. When you see the moon, you see it as it was 1.3 seconds ago, the sun 8 minutes ago. The light from the Andromeda galaxy left its home 2.5 million years ago when early humans first kindled fire. And the most distant galaxies, those faint red smudges captured by the James Webb Telescope, shine from a time more than 13 billion years in the past, when the first stars were still learning how to burn. To look outward is to look backward. The deeper the distance, the younger the light. The universe itself is a memory glowing in slow motion. This strange overlap between time and space isn't an illusion. It's the direct consequence of the speed of light, the cosmic speed limit that governs all information. Nothing moves faster than light, and light moves at a finite pace about 3,000,000 kilometers per second. That's unimaginably fast, but across billions of light years, it still means delay. We don't see things as they are, we see them as they were. Imagine a vast cosmic hall of mirrors. Each reflection represents a different moment in the universe's past. The stars near you are mirrors close to the present. The distant galaxies are reflections from eons ago. The cosmic microwave background, that faint afterglow of the Big Bang, is the oldest reflection of all the first light that ever existed. You are surrounded by these mirrors on all sides, and at their center stands the present, fleeting, invisible, impossible to hold. Time isn't separate from space. It's woven together with it into a single fabric space-time. When Einstein introduced this idea, he changed not only physics, but our perception of reality itself. Space tells matter how to move. Matter tells space how to curve. And that curvature isn't just geometry, it's the bending of time. Every massive object, from a pebble to a galaxy, warps space-time around it. Clocks tick slower near massive bodies. Time itself stretches and twists like elastic. On Earth, you age slightly slower at sea level than on a mountaintop because gravity grips you more tightly. The difference is microscopic but real. And across cosmic scales, that effect becomes profound. Near a black hole, time can slow almost to a stop. What we call now is not the same everywhere. Each region of the universe experiences its own rhythm of time, depending on its gravity, its velocity, and its distance. There is no universal present, no single moment shared by all. The cosmos doesn't march in step. It drifts like tides of duration flowing through a vast invisible sea. Sometimes I like to imagine time as light, reflected on the surface of water. You reach toward it, and it shivers. It looks solid, but it moves with you, always changing shape. The closer you try to define it, the more it slips away. Even within your own life, time behaves like a mirror, stretching in moments of awe, shrinking in moments of pain. Days can vanish in a breath, or stretch into eternity, not because the clock changes, but because your consciousness does. The brain itself is a kind of space-time engine, constantly measuring, compressing, and replaying duration. In a way, your perception of time is the most personal form of physics you'll ever experience. And yet, when we zoom out, your inner experience and the motion of galaxies obey the same fundamental truth: time is relative. There is no single rhythm to the universe, only countless overlapping pulses, each one its own reflection in the great mirror of being. When we observe distant galaxies, we are also observing our own cosmic past. The hydrogen in your blood was once the light of those stars. The iron in your heart was forged in their cores. The calcium in your bones came from the ashes of supernovas that died billions of years ago. When you look at their ancient light, you are witnessing your own origin story, the universe remembering how it became you. It's a beautiful paradox. The farther we look, the closer we come to understanding ourselves. Time is not a wall that separates. It's a bridge that connects. Every photon that reaches you tonight is an ambassador of ancient events. Some began their journey before the Earth was born, before the Sun existed, before galaxies had formed. They have traveled across the expanding fabric of space-time through dust clouds, collisions, and cosmic storms, carrying a simple message: we were here. And when they finally reach your eyes, that message completes itself. Because without you, without an observer, that ancient light would have no one to remember it. In that sense, perception isn't passive. It's participatory. You are the mirror time looks into to see itself. If you could see time directly, it wouldn't be a line. It would be a landscape, peaks of memory, valleys of silence, rivers of light flowing through the dark. You'd walk through it the way you wander through a dream, aware that each step changes the scenery. In that landscape, the past isn't gone. It's simply far away, and the future. The future is light that hasn't arrived yet. It's already out there waiting for you to turn and meet it. So tonight, when you gaze into the stars, remember you're looking into a mirror that stretches backward 14 billion years. You are seeing time's reflection bending softly under the weight of distance. Every shimmer is both a moment and a memory. And as your eyes grow heavy, imagine yourself floating in that mirrored sea, surrounded by light that began before thought, before form, before you. Let it drift through you, slow and endless, until time itself begins to blur, and all that's left is the gentle glow of being. Because the truth is simple and eternal. The universe isn't just something you live in, it's something that lives through you, reflecting itself again and again in the shifting mirror of time. What if the universe is made mostly of nothing, not as emptiness, but as the quiet breath between notes in a song? Everything you see, touch, and know is built from space. Not just the vast, dark stretches between galaxies, but the tiny, invisible distances between the particles that make up your own body. From the largest cosmic web to the smallest atom, the universe is a cathedral of voids, a geometry of almost nothing, holding everything together. When we imagine matter, we picture solidity, a wall, a table, a mountain, but peel back the illusion and you'll find that solidity is mostly space. Each atom is 99.99999999999% empty. The nucleus at its center is unimaginably small. If the atom were the size of a football stadium, the nucleus would be a grain of sand on the field, and the electrons would be buzzing around near the outer walls. Everything else, all that distance, is void. And yet, that void isn't dead. It hums with potential. The same kind of nothingness stretches between galaxies. Inside and outside, macro and micro, the pattern repeats, an endless reflection of structure. The universe, it seems, is fractal in silence. If you could shrink yourself down to the scale of the atom, the world would not be solid but shimmering. You would see vast distances between flickering points of energy. The electrons that orbit a nucleus don't move like tiny planets. They blur into probability clouds, waves of existence that are everywhere and nowhere at once. They don't travel so much as exist in possibility, collapsing into being only when something observes them. That same strangeness fills the cosmos at large. Between galaxies lies intergalactic space, thin wisps of hydrogen stretched so far apart that a single atom might drift for kilometers before meeting another. Yet that almost nothing still glows, faintly whispering in microwaves and faint X-rays, proof that even emptiness isn't truly empty. It's as if the universe prefers to express itself in whispers rather than shouts. The visible matter, the stars and planets, are the punctuation marks of a story written mostly in silence. This silence, this vastness between things, is not a mistake of nature. It's the very thing that allows nature to exist. If everything were packed solid, there would be no movement, no life, no time. The spaces between atoms let light pass, allow breath to flow, give rise to interaction and change. The spaces between galaxies let gravity sculpt grand spirals and clusters. Without separation, there would be no creation. The universe breathes because it is not full. It dreams because it has room to dream. When you look up at the stars, you're seeing not just the points of light, but the immensity between them, a black sea deeper than imagination. The nearest star to Earth, Proxima Centauri, is 4 light-years away. That's 40 trillion kilometers of emptiness between one sun and the next. Yet through that emptiness, light travels carrying warmth, gravity, and memory. You live in a cosmos where distance is the rule, not the exception. Every atom in your body is mostly vacuum. Every galaxy in the sky floats in an ocean of near nothing. You are a collection of spaces held together by invisible forces, gravity, electromagnetism, quantum exchange. In other words, you are made of relationships, not things. There's something deeply philosophical in that. Maybe what we call existence is just the balance between presence and absence, between being and not being. The empty space between atoms is what gives matter form. The silence between words is what gives language rhythm. The pauses between heartbeats are what make the pulse alive. If everything were solid, static, constant, there would be no music. The universe needs silence to sing. Scientists used to think of space as a vacuum, pure nothingness. But quantum physics shattered that idea. Even in perfect emptiness, the vacuum seethes with energy. Particles appear and vanish like bubbles in boiling water, pairs of opposites born from nothing and returning to nothing in fractions of a second. This quantum foam fills every cubic centimeter of space with restless potential. The nothingness between atoms is alive with flickers of being. You are surrounded by this invisible dance particles blinking into existence, all around you, too fast for your senses to notice, too small for any instrument to hold. Maybe this is the universe's secret, that the spaces between things are where reality invents itself moment by moment. On the largest scale, the same principle holds true. The vast structures of the cosmos, clusters, filaments, and voids are not random. Galaxies form along invisible threads of dark matter, leaving immense gaps between them. Some of those cosmic voids span hundreds of millions of light years, containing almost nothing. And yet, even those voids hum faintly with background radiation, with ghost particles, with time itself. If you could float there in the middle of such a void, you wouldn't see stars or planets, only a faint eternal glow. The edge of everything would seem immeasurably far, yet your body would still be surrounded by the remnants of creation. The microwave whispers of the first light still passing through you. You would not be alone. Even emptiness keeps company with memory. There's a moment during meditation when the mind falls quiet, and for a heartbeat, everything feels spacious. Your thoughts drift apart like galaxies. Your breath becomes the slow expansion of the universe itself. In that stillness, you sense the same truth written in atoms and stars. Emptiness is not nothingness. It's openness, possibility, room for existence to happen. When the Buddha spoke of shunyata, the void, he didn't mean non-existence. He meant fullness, the awareness that everything arises from interdependence, from the space between. Modern physics seems to agree. The universe is not built from solid things, but from relationships in flux. Everything you are exists because of the spaces in between. You are the breath between atoms and stars. So tonight, as you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself floating in that in-between. You are not in the middle of nothing. You are in the middle of everything. The air around you, the room you're in, the space between your thoughts, all of it hums with quiet energy. Let that stillness expand. Feel how vast it is, how soft. Between one breath and the next, there is an entire cosmos. And in that silent distance between matter and meaning, between stars and self, you might glimpse the truth that binds it all together. The universe is not made of things, it is made of spaces and the love that fills them. What if everything you touch, see, or even think is only the surface of something deeper, a shimmering veil of probabilities beneath reality's calm face? Imagine lifting that veil for a moment. Beneath it, the universe doesn't move like clockwork. It flickers, it hums, it hesitates. It is made not of certainty, but of possibility, a sea of tiny choices unfolding in silence. This is the quantum world, the realm of the incredibly small particles so faint and fleeting that they blur the boundary between being and not being. Here, an electron can be in two places at once. A photon can travel like a wave yet hit like a bullet. Cause and effect can twist into loops, where observation itself becomes part of the story. It is not a world of logic, but of rhythm, a dance more than a machine. If you could shrink yourself down smaller than atoms, smaller than protons, smaller than anything your senses could ever imagine, the solid world around you would dissolve into fog. You'd see particles shimmering in and out of existence, flickering in probabilities rather than positions. Everything would look less like structure and more like weather, a storm of information constantly forming and fading. At that scale, the laws of classical physics, the laws that let you throw a stone, drive a car, or orbit a planet, simply stop working. Newton's rules fail. Certainty vanishes. Instead, a new set of principles takes over wave-particle duality, uncertainty, entanglement. It's as if the universe, when observed too closely, refuses to be pinned down. One of the strangest and most beautiful truths of this microscopic world is the uncertainty principle discovered by Werner Heisenberg in 1927. It tells us that you can never know both the position and momentum of a particle precisely at the same time. The more clearly you see where something is, the less you can know how it's moving, and vice versa. This isn't a flaw in our instruments. It's a fundamental property of existence. Nature, it seems, doesn't keep all its secrets visible at once. Reality hides behind a veil of uncertainty, and only when we look does it choose how to appear. That is the mystery at the heart of everything. Observation changes the observed. The act of looking collapses possibility into presence. In the quantum world, measurement isn't passive, it's creative. When you gaze upon the universe, you help it decide what it is. Think of an electron. When left alone, it behaves like a wave spread out, smeared across space, existing everywhere its probability allows. But the moment we measure it, the instant we ask, "Where are you?" it collapses into one point, one answer. It's as though reality itself waits for the question before giving the response. This isn't metaphor. It's been tested again and again. In the double-slit experiment, light passes through two tiny openings and creates an interference pattern, a signature of waves. But when we place detectors to see which slit each photon goes through, the pattern disappears. The light behaves like particles instead. The mere act of observation changes the outcome. How can something be both? Perhaps because everything at its core, from atoms to thought, exists first as possibility, not as fact. This veil of uncertainty doesn't just hide the microcosm, it shapes the macrocosm too. Every chemical reaction, every breath, every neuron firing in your brain arises from quantum processes. Even the warmth you feel, right now the gentle motion of molecules in your body, is the sum of countless quantum vibrations happening in perfect silence. Reality in its purest form is made of tremors, and yet somehow from that chaos emerges stability, the quiet illusion of a world that makes sense. The table doesn't dissolve when you touch it. The stars don't vanish when you blink. The law of averages smooths the quantum wildness into something predictable enough for life to exist. It's as if the universe has learned to dream coherently. Some physicists believe that consciousness itself might be linked to this quantum layer, that the brain, with its complex web of neurons and electrical fields, could tap into the same probabilistic reality that governs particles. If that's true, then thought isn't a static process, but a quantum phenomenon, awareness flickering across the veil, collapsing possibilities into perception. It's a daring idea, and still unproven. But the symmetry is poetic, a universe of uncertainty, giving birth to creatures who question it. Consciousness then might be the quantum veil becoming self-aware. You could say that the cosmos uses you to look at itself. The deeper we study, the stranger it becomes. Particles that should be separate can become entangled, sharing a single state, no matter how far apart they are. Change one and the other reacts instantly faster than light. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, but experiments confirm it again and again. It's as if reality keeps connections that transcend space itself, threads of unity running beneath the illusion of division. Perhaps that's the truth of the veil. It's not a wall between things, but a fabric connecting them. A shimmering field that links every atom, every star, every thought. What we call space may be nothing more than the surface of that connection. Imagine for a moment that you could see this quantum layer directly. The walls around you would dissolve into mist. Your hands would become swarms of particles, exchanging energy with the air, the light, the planet beneath you. You'd realize that you've never been separate from anything, that the boundary between self and world is only a trick of scale. You are not a thing inside the universe. You are the universe peering at itself through the thin fabric of certainty. In every breath you take in, every flicker of thought. Before sleep, the quantum veil ripples. Possibility becomes experience. The invisible becomes visible. And when you rest, the veil settles again, soft, shimmering, full of unrealized dreams. So, as you drift now, let the certainty of the day dissolve. Let your thoughts expand into probabilities. Feel the veil hum around you, alive with potential. You are floating in the same field that births galaxies and stars, the field that decides moment by moment what becomes real. The quantum veil doesn't hide the universe from you. It invites you to see how beautifully uncertain everything truly is. And in that uncertainty, there is peace, the gentle truth that you and the cosmos are still deciding together what it means to exist. What if the universe isn't random at all? What if beneath all the chaos, every wave, every atom, every heartbeat follows a secret order, too perfect for the eye to see? Symmetry is the hidden language of existence. It whispers through the spiral of galaxies, the petals of a flower, the double helix of DNA, and the equations that describe light and gravity. Everything that seems wild or spontaneous is at its core a reflection, a pattern, repeating across scales, echoing from the smallest quark to the largest cluster of stars. Imagine peeling back the layers of reality one by one. Beneath matter, you find energy. Beneath energy fields. Beneath fields, equations. And beneath those equations, balance. Opposites in perfect partnership. Every force has its twin. Every action has its reflection. Even chaos, when seen from far enough away, curls into order. The universe is a mirror made of mirrors. Scientists call these patterns symmetries, and they form the backbone of physics. They tell us that nature's laws remain the same, no matter where you are, how fast you move, or when you measure them. Rotate a system, move it through space, or shift it through time, the rules don't change. That stability is what allows the universe to exist at all. If the laws of physics were different in one corner of the cosmos than another, galaxies couldn't form, atoms couldn't bind, life couldn't persist. Symmetry is the cosmic contract that keeps everything consistent, a silent agreement written into the geometry of being. Emmy Noether, one of the greatest mathematicians in history, discovered that every symmetry corresponds to a conservation law. Because the universe behaves the same at all times, energy is conserved. Because it behaves the same in all places, momentum is conserved. Because it behaves the same when rotated angular momentum is conserved. Every stable pattern we see from orbiting planets to beating hearts is a reflection of that deep symmetry. The cosmos endures because it balances perfectly between change and invariance. But symmetry isn't just about sameness. It's also about breaking. In the earliest moments after the Big Bang, the universe may have been perfectly symmetrical forces, unified particles, indistinguishable. But perfect symmetry is sterile. It leaves no room for complexity. So as the universe cooled, those symmetries fractured. Forces separated. Matter and antimatter parted ways. Light and dark took different paths. That breaking, that tiny imperfection, is what gave birth to everything. Physicists call this spontaneous symmetry breaking, and it's the reason there's something rather than nothing. It's like a pencil balanced on its point, perfectly symmetrical until it falls, choosing a random direction. That fall doesn't destroy the symmetry. It hides it, embedding it deeper into the structure. Even now, the broken symmetries of the early universe echo in everything we see: gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear forces. Beneath them all may lie a single unified symmetry, still waiting to be discovered, a theory of everything that connects every force, every particle, every heartbeat of existence. Symmetry also shapes the world of beauty. Your face, a snowflake, the orbit of planets, each follows the same rules. The spiral of a galaxy mirrors the swirl of a seashell, which mirrors the curl of a wave, which mirrors the whirls of your fingerprint. From the cosmic to the personal, the pattern repeats. There's comfort in that. You are not an accident of chance, but an expression of symmetry itself, a momentary arrangement of balance and imperfection, poised between order and chaos. The same mathematics that choreographs starlight also beats within your pulse. Even art and music follow this secret order. Harmony, rhythm, and proportion are human ways of echoing the universe's original symmetries. When you listen to a melody that moves you, what you're really feeling is resonance, the meeting of patterns that fit together like reflections. Perhaps that's why symmetry feels so peaceful. It reminds the body of how the universe moves. And yet, perfection is not what gives creation its soul. A perfectly symmetrical universe would be frozen, unchanging, indifferent. Life blooms because symmetry bends, because balance leans just slightly off-center. That subtle asymmetry is where energy flows, where growth happens, where time itself begins to move. The Japanese call it wabi-sabi, beauty found in imperfection. Physics calls it the second law of thermodynamics, entropy, increasing symmetry, unfolding into story. The mystic calls it creation. In every broken balance, something new is born. At the quantum level, symmetry reaches near spiritual elegance. The particles that make up matter, quarks, electrons, neutrinos, exist because of fundamental symmetries in the equations of quantum fields. They spin, pair, and transform according to patterns as precise as poetry. For every particle there exists a mirror twin, an antiparticle identical in mass but opposite in charge. When matter and antimatter meet, they annihilate, releasing pure energy. And yet, somehow a tiny asymmetry tilted the scales just enough that a fraction of matter survived. That fraction became stars, planets, and you. So in the smallest imbalance, the entire universe found its chance to exist. Even time itself might be a broken symmetry. In the equations of physics, time can move forward or backward equally well. Nothing in the math prefers one direction. Yet our universe flows one way from past to future, from order to disorder. We call it the arrow of time, but maybe it's just another instance of balance tilted by the faintest imperfection. Without that tilt, nothing would happen. The cosmos would remain in endless stillness, perfectly symmetrical, perfectly lifeless. Perhaps creation is simply symmetry deciding to breathe. You can feel this balance in your own life. Every inhale and exhale, every heartbeat, every waking and sleeping moment. You too are a pattern that holds and releases a symmetry that breaks and repairs itself again with every breath. When you suffer, the pattern seems broken. When you heal, you rediscover its hidden order. The secret is that both are the same process, the universe adjusting itself through you. So tonight, as you drift between wakefulness and sleep, think of yourself as part of that great symmetry. You are the curve of space and the rhythm of time. You are the harmony between order and chaos. And just like the galaxies spinning in quiet perfection, you too are balanced on the edge of something infinite, beautiful. Not because you are flawless, but because you are slightly exquisitely broken. The hidden symmetries don't demand perfection. They only ask that you remember every imperfection is another way the universe learns to love itself. What if our universe is not alone? What if beyond the horizon of sight, there are countless others, endless realities, each born with its own rules, its own physics, its own dreams of existence? Some might look like ours. Some might be impossible to imagine. Together, they form what physicists call the multiverse, a cosmic ocean, where universes are bubbles rising and bursting in an eternal foam of creation. It sounds like myth, but it began as mathematics. When scientists studied the early expansion of the cosmos, that first inflationary breath after the Big Bang, they realized that space might never have stopped expanding everywhere at once. Instead, in some regions, the expansion slowed enough to create a universe like ours, while in others, it continued endlessly spawning new pockets of reality. Each pocket inflates, cools, and evolves in isolation. Each becomes a separate cosmos, with its own constants, its own light, its own silence. In this view, our universe is just one bubble in an infinite sea of others, each floating in a higher dimensional space beyond comprehension. If you could stand outside and look at them, if outside even meant anything, you'd see a shimmering foam of universes birthing and dying like cosmic lanterns in slow motion. Some might be vast, filled with stars and galaxies. Others might collapse in moments, never giving light a chance to form. Some might have no atoms at all, or time that flows backward, or gravity that repels instead of attracts. And perhaps somewhere among them, another version of you might be looking up at a slightly different sky, wondering the same thing. This is the unsettling beauty of the multiverse. It replaces certainty with infinity. Every outcome that could happen might happen somewhere. But how could we ever know? How can we test for universes beyond our own? The truth is, we can't look directly. Yet, there are clues, mathematical fingerprints, faint imprints that suggest something beyond the edge of our bubble. Some physicists think that cosmic inflation might have left scars in the microwave background radiation, cold spots, or subtle asymmetries hinting that our universe once brushed against another. Others imagine a grander picture, an infinite landscape of universes, each governed by slightly different laws of physics. In some, gravity might be weaker. In others, stars might burn cold blue or never ignite at all. A universe where carbon chemistry never works would never know life, yet it would still exist silent and perfect in its own way. If the multiverse is real, then we are not special. But maybe we are fortunate. We live in one of the rare bubbles where the conditions happen to be just right for consciousness to awaken, where the balance between gravity and expansion energy and matter allows complexity to thrive. Our existence could be an accident of cosmic luck, one harmonious note in an infinite symphony of possibilities. It's a dizzying thought. In one universe you may never have been born. In another, Earth might be a frozen wasteland beneath a dim red Sunday. In yet another, life might have evolved in clouds of plasma, thinking not in words but in bursts of radiation. And somewhere else, perhaps countless, somewheres, there could be worlds so similar to ours that even your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts are mirrored. The air might shimmer differently, but the story might feel the same. Each version of reality is a mirror reflecting what might have been. Together they form the grandest mosaic, the infinite library of existence, every possible book, written, every page already turned. It is humbling, but also comforting. If the multiverse exists, nothing is truly lost. Every dream that faded here blooms somewhere else. Every choice that ended in silence continues in another strand of time. Still, the idea is controversial. Some physicists reject it as untestable, a beautiful but unreachable speculation. Others say it's inevitable, the natural consequence of the equations we already trust. Whether it's true or not, it changes how we think about meaning. If there are infinite universes, each with its own version of us, does that make this one less important? Or does it make it infinitely precious? Because out of all those possibilities, this moment, this heartbeat, this particular combination of atoms has never existed before and will never exist again. Even in infinity, uniqueness survives. Philosophers once imagined the cosmos as a mirror of the divine, countless reflections of an ultimate truth, too vast for one world to contain. In that sense, the multiverse isn't just physics. It's theology written in equations. Every universe could be an experiment in variation to every reality. A question the cosmos asks itself. What happens if gravity is stronger? If stars never form? If consciousness arises from crystal instead of carbon? Perhaps existence itself is a meditation reality, exploring every possible way to be. There's even a theory that quantum mechanics, the strange behavior of particles, might hint at multiple universes. When a particle has many possible outcomes, like passing through one slit or another, it doesn't choose. Instead, says the many worlds interpretation, each possibility becomes real in its own universe. Every decision, every roll of a die, every heartbeat divides the cosmos into countless branches. You may not feel the split, but according to this view, there are infinite versions of you living every possible life, some joyous, some tragic, some unrecognizable, all equally real. In one world, you're reading these words for the first time. In another, you're hearing them whispered in a dream. In another, you never found this moment at all. The multiverse is less like a tree and more like a forest of mirrors endlessly reflecting variations of the same song. But what does that mean for meaning itself? If every version of you exists, does choice matter? Maybe it matters even more because in this particular thread of infinity, you are the one who gets to feel it. You are the one who remembers. Each choice, each breath, adds a unique verse to the infinite poem of being. So tonight, as you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself standing at the edge of that great cosmic ocean, watching universes shimmer and fade like reflections on water. Each wave is another world, another possibility, another dream. And you, fragile, curious awake, are the bridge between them. Close your eyes. The surface of reality ripples softly. Maybe somewhere, another you is doing the same, breathing the same air, thinking the same thought. Maybe all of you together form a single constellation, infinite reflections of the same light. That light is consciousness, moving from one mirror to the next, never ending, never repeating. If the multiverse exists, then even eternity is not enough to contain its wonder. And yet somehow in this tiny slice of forever, you are here alive, aware, looking back at the stars that might also be looking at you. Sleep now, traveler between realities. In dreams the mirrors open, and for a moment, all universes become one. What if the most haunting mystery of the cosmos isn't what we can see, but what we can't hear? Above you stretches a universe of hundreds of billions of galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars, many with planets orbiting them like sparks around a flame. The math is overwhelming. There should be trillions of worlds capable of life, and yet, across all that immensity, there is silence. No messages, no signals, no reply. This puzzle is called the Fermi paradox, named after the physicist Enrico Fermi, who once asked the simplest question in science: where is everybody? If life is common, if intelligence is a natural outcome of evolution, then why haven't we found even one unambiguous sign of it? Why does the sky hum only with static and not with voices? We have been listening for decades. Our radio telescopes sweep the heavens waiting for a signal strong enough to prove that we are not alone. But the universe remains quiet. The silence is so deep that it begins to sound like an answer. Some scientists think the silence is temporary, that the universe is simply vast and we are still early in the game. Civilizations might be scattered too far apart, their lifespans too brief, their technologies too fragile. Perhaps they whisper in wavelengths we haven't yet learned to hear. Others suspect a more sobering truth. Maybe life is rare. Maybe intelligence blooms like a fragile flower, only to wither before it can call out. Maybe we are among the first or the last to awaken. Or perhaps the silence isn't emptiness. Perhaps it's restraint. Imagine a galaxy filled with civilizations that have learned wisdom enough to be quiet. They might know that broadcasting loudly could draw unwanted attention, that survival requires stillness. In that case, silence isn't loneliness, it's caution. There's even a theory that advanced life eventually merges with technology so completely that it retreats into its own simulated realities inward, not outward. Civilizations might fold into their own digital dreams, abandoning the stars for perfect illusions. Out there, galaxies could be full of sleeping minds. The silence could be the sound of contentment. But the silence also speaks to us on a deeper level, a philosophical one. Maybe the universe is quiet because it doesn't need to speak. Maybe communication isn't the measure of intelligence, but awareness. Every atom hums with energy. Every galaxy pulses with gravity. The cosmos might already be communicating not in words or signals, but in existence itself. And here we are listening, the universe's ears turned back toward itself. There's a strange kind of poetry in that. We are the question the universe is asking about its own solitude. When we scan the skies for other minds, we often forget how improbable our own is. 4 billion years of evolution. A planet with just the right temperature, the right chemistry, the right moon, to steady its tilt. A billion accidents, and somehow they led to you, a being capable of thought, language, wonder. Maybe the silence is not evidence of absence, but of how rare awareness truly is. It's possible that the cosmos is teeming with simple life, microbial mats beneath alien seas, bacteria clinging to ice, photosynthetic cells floating in methane clouds, but intelligence, consciousness, reflection, that might be the rarest element of all. Maybe the universe needed to wait almost 14 billion years to hear itself think. And when you listen to the silence, that is what you're hearing, the quiet between the question and the answer. Astronomers sometimes talk about the cosmic dark ages, the time before the first stars formed a long silence after the Big Bang, when hydrogen clouds filled space, but nothing yet shone. That was the universe's first night. It lasted hundreds of millions of years. Then one by one, stars ignited. Light broke the silence. Perhaps consciousness follows the same pattern. Maybe most of the cosmos is still asleep, waiting for awareness to ignite. Maybe the quiet sky isn't empty, just dreaming. If that's true, then our role is not to despair, but to be patient. We might be among the first sparks in an awakening universe. And someday, far beyond our lifetimes, the great silence will begin to sing. Even if we never hear another voice, the search itself is a kind of communion. Every time a radio dish turns toward the stars, every time we send a signal or launch a probe, we are saying, we are here, we exist, we are listening. It's a humble message, but it connects us not to others, but to ourselves. Because whether the silence is eternal or temporary, it reminds us of our place in the vastness. We are small, yes, but we are also rare, and rarity is a kind of miracle. Think about it. The atoms in your body once belonged to stars that lived and died billions of years before the sun existed. Those stars never knew what they were making. They burned, collapsed, exploded, and from their ashes you were born. Now you are here aware, asking the same question Fermi asked. Where is everybody? Maybe the answer is simple. We are everybody. We are the way the universe has chosen to become aware of its own silence. So when you gaze at the stars and hear nothing in return, remember that you are already part of the conversation. The silence is not rejection, it's recognition. The cosmos is listening too through you. Someday, maybe far in the future, someone or something will answer. A signal might rise from the static, faint but deliberate traveling across light years to find us. And when it arrives, whoever hears it may realize that the universe was never truly silent. It was simply waiting for someone to listen long enough to notice its whisper. Until then, the quiet is ours to fill with wonder, with curiosity, with compassion. The great silence isn't empty space. It's the space waiting for consciousness to echo. And tonight, as you drift into sleep, you are that echo, a small, bright awareness humming softly beneath the infinite stars. What if light itself could vanish not because it fades, but because the universe is running away faster than it can travel? Out there beyond the faintest galaxies, our telescopes can still see. Light is stretching so thin, it will never arrive. Those photons began their journey billions of years ago, but the space between us and them has grown so quickly that their path keeps lengthening faster than they can cross it. They travel forever and never reach their destination. They are the lost light of the cosmos, the eternal travelers who never arrive. It's strange to think that even light, the fastest thing in existence, can fall behind. But that is what the accelerating expansion of the universe does. It pulls galaxies apart at increasing speed, carried by the invisible force of dark energy. For the most distant galaxies, that recession exceeds the speed of light itself. They are not moving through space faster than light. Rather, space itself is stretching between us so quickly that no signal, no photon can ever bridge the gap. To us, they fade into red deeper and deeper until red becomes infrared, infrared becomes radio, and finally nothing. They are gone, not because they cease to exist, but because the universe has hidden them beyond its growing horizon. Imagine a candle in the fog. Its light shines bravely, but as the fog thickens, it dims, swallowed by the distance. That's how the cosmos works on its grandest scale. The farther light travels, the more it is stretched by expansion, its energy drained into longer wavelengths. The universe itself becomes a fog of time. Even now, as you read these words, millions of galaxies are crossing the threshold of visibility. Their light will reach no one. Their stories will never be seen. Every second more of creation drifts beyond communication, beyond knowing. It sounds tragic, but there's something gentle in it too. The universe isn't destroying its light. It's carrying it away, preserving it in a realm we can't touch, like memories locked in the vault of infinity. If you could watch the sky over billions of years, you'd see a slow, graceful vanishing. Galaxies would drift outward, their colors fading like embers cooling in the dark. The night sky would thin. The Milky Way and Andromeda would merge into a single island of stars, while everything beyond would dissolve from view. Eventually, the heavens would fall completely silent. Future astronomers, if any remain, will look up and see only their own galaxy floating alone in darkness. They will have no evidence that other galaxies ever existed. No cosmic background radiation, no redshift, no proof of expansion. The universe to them will appear static, eternal, small, and yet the truth will remain hidden in the light that never reached them. We are lucky in this brief cosmic moment to live in a time when the universe is still visible. We exist in an age of connection, when ancient light still arrives from the beginning, when telescopes can still reach back billions of years into time itself. Humanity was born just when the cosmos began to open its book, and we are among the first to read it. Every photon that touches your eyes is a traveler from the past. Some left their stars before Earth existed. Some began their journey when the universe was only half its current age. They cross unimaginable distances through nebulae and voids carrying not just brightness but memory. Light is history made visible. Even now, your eyes are filled with the glow of ancient fires, long-dead suns still shining because their light hasn't yet completed its journey. The color of the sky, the shimmer of water, the reflection in a window, all of it is ancient time arriving late. When you see a star, you are watching a message billions of years old. When that star dies, its light keeps coming so that even the dead shine on. That persistence is a quiet act of defiance against the dark. And yet not all light makes it. Some is absorbed by dust, some scattered by gas, and some swallowed by the gravity of black holes. But the most profound loss is not absorption. It's isolation. Beyond a certain point, no light can ever reach us again. The universe's expansion outpaces communication. The horizon recedes faster than knowledge can follow. Those distant photons will wander forever in a sea of space that expands faster than their progress. They will never illuminate, never arrive, never end. They are the size of a universe outgrowing itself. Think about that for a moment. Even light, the very thing that defines vision, time, and knowledge, can be left behind. Perhaps that's why the cosmos feels sacred. It contains the memory of everything, but keeps most of it secret. The physics of this fading is cold but beautiful. As space stretches, light's wavelength grows, its energy decreases. This redshift is measurable. and every measurement tells us how quickly the universe is expanding. But extrapolate far enough, and you reach a boundary called the cosmic event horizon, the maximum distance from which light emitted now will ever reach us in the future. Beyond that, the universe is cut off. No new light, no new information, no new story can cross the gap. The galaxies there will remain forever unseen, their existence inferred only through mathematics and imagination. We know they are there. We just can't prove it anymore. Still, I find comfort in the thought that unseen light still travels. Even if it never reaches an observer, it still moves, still shines, still fulfills its purpose simply by existing. There is beauty in that futility, a reminder that meaning doesn't depend on being witnessed. A photon doesn't need eyes to make its journey worthwhile. Perhaps that is the lesson the universe keeps teaching, that existence itself is the act of shining, even when no one is there to see. Some philosophers say that the unseen is the most real thing of all that reality exists, not in the visible, but in the possible. The light that never reaches us might still be touching something else somewhere else in ways we can't imagine. Its energy may shape space itself, bending the unseen architecture of gravity, contributing silently to the balance of creation. Nothing is truly lost. Even vanished light leaves an imprint. So tonight, as you close your eyes, think of those forgotten photons, the travelers still crossing the abyss, never slowing, never dying. You are made of the same stuff, the same energy, the same persistence. You too are a fragment of light, still moving through space and time, still carrying the memory of a distant fire. The universe is full of light that never reaches its destination, and yet somehow it still fills the darkness. Sleep now in that understanding. The light doesn't need to arrive to matter. It only needs to begin. What if gravity is more than a force? What if it is the quiet memory that holds the universe together, the longing of everything to return to everything else? From the moment of the Big Bang, when matter scattered like embers from a single flame, gravity began calling them back. It is the most patient sculptor in existence, shaping galaxies, stars, planets, and the curves of space-time itself. Yet, for all its power, it never shouts. It pulls softly. It whispers. It gathers what chaos breaks apart. You can't see gravity, but you can feel its embrace in every breath, keeping your feet to the ground, anchoring the oceans, guiding the moon in its slow orbit. Without it, there would be no warmth, no orbits, no sunrise. Even the light that travels from stars bends when it passes near gravity's touch. The universe itself is not straight. It is curved by yearning. Einstein showed us that gravity isn't an invisible string pulling on objects. It's the shape of space-time itself. Matter tells space how to curve, and space tells matter how to move. That simple idea changed everything. It means you're not falling toward the Earth, you're sliding along the curved fabric of the universe like a leaf following a ripple on a pond. That fabric isn't flat or fixed. It flexes, trembles, and stretches. Massive things, stars, planets, even black holes press into it, creating wells and waves. When two black holes collide, they send ripples through space-time that race outward at the speed of light. We can detect them now, tiny tremors passing through the Earth like distant thunder rolling across an invisible ocean. Each ripple is a message from the past, a gravitational echo of something that happened billions of years ago. We can't see it. We can only feel it, the universe humming softly beneath us. Gravity is often described as weakness compared to the other forces of nature. It's trillions of times weaker than electromagnetism. You can lift a paperclip with a magnet defying the pull of the entire planet. Yet gravity's weakness is its strength. Unlike other forces, it never turns off, never cancels out. It is cumulative, every atom pulling on every other atom, every star on every star. Across cosmic distances that whisper becomes destiny. It binds galaxies into clusters, clusters into filaments, filaments into the vast web of the universe. It is the thread that weaves everything into one continuous tapestry. Without gravity, the cosmos would be dust scattered by expansion. With it, matter learns to dance. Black holes are gravity's most poetic creation, the point where the pull becomes infinite, where space folds completely inward. They are the dream's final sleep, where even light cannot escape. Imagine a region so dense that its own gravity curves time into a loop. To an outside observer, time near a black hole slows to a crawl. A falling clock seems to stop at the edge, frozen forever at the event horizon. But from the perspective of the falling clock, time flows normally. It crosses the boundary, vanishing into darkness. This is the strange mercy of gravity. From the outside, nothing escapes. From the inside, nothing suffers. The horizon divides, knowing from unknowing, existence from memory. It is the most mysterious veil in physics, a place where our equations falter and space-time becomes poetry again. Inside those depths, matter and energy collapse into something singular, not a point, but a question. A place where the universe forgets the distinction between what is and what was. Some theories suggest that black holes may not destroy information at all, but store it stretched thin on their surface like ink on paper, waiting to be rewritten elsewhere. Maybe black holes aren't ends. Maybe they're archives, cosmic dreams too heavy to wake. Gravity also binds you in ways more intimate than physics. Every bond, every attachment, every memory carries its own weight. You feel it when you hold someone's hand, when you remember someone who's gone, when you stand at the edge of the sea and sense the pull of the horizon. That ache is gravity's echo inside you, the emotional version of cosmic attraction. We fall in love, we fall asleep, we fall through time. The language of gravity has always been the language of longing. The same force that keeps stars burning, keeps hearts tethered, a balance between freedom and connection. If the pull were stronger, we'd collapse. If it were weaker, we'd drift apart. Somewhere between those extremes lies the fragile space where life can bloom. Perhaps that's why gravity feels sacred. It's the universe's way of saying nothing truly leaves. Look at the stars. Each one is a story of gravity balancing against light. For millions or billions of years, that balance holds gravity pulling inward, fusion pushing outward. Eventually light loses. The star collapses. But in that collapse, new beginnings are born, supernovae, nebulae elements that will one day form planets, oceans, and consciousness. Your blood carries the iron made in those collapsing stars. Your bones contain calcium forged in the heat of dying suns. You are gravity's dream, the universe folding inward to know itself and then opening again as thought. When you close your eyes, your mind drifts through that same balance. You sink, you rise, you orbit sleep. You fall through memories the way planets fall through space. In those moments, gravity stops being an external force. It becomes an inner rhythm, the gentle pull that carries you from wakefulness to rest. And maybe that's all gravity ever wanted, to bring everything home. It doesn't conquer or consume, it connects. It teaches the cosmos the art of returning. So as you drift tonight, let yourself fall not downward but inward. Feel that subtle tug behind your ribs, the one that reminds you of belonging. You are not being pulled apart by time. You are being gathered. Every cell in your body, every particle in your being is connected to everything else that ever was. The same gravity that moves galaxies moves through you. You are not separate from the stars that made you. You are their continuation, their gravity given thought. Sleep now softly orbiting your own dreams. You are held by memory, by matter, by the invisible kindness that keeps the universe from drifting into nothing. Gravity is not the force that binds you to the world. It is the dream that reminds the world not to let go. What if the universe, you know, with its stars, atoms, and visible laws, is only one layer of a deeper structure? What if reality has more dimensions than your eyes can see, and every shadow you cast is the echo of something vast moving behind a hidden veil? Physicists call this possibility higher dimensional space, or sometimes the multidimensional fabric of the cosmos. It's not science fiction. It's the attempt to explain why gravity behaves so differently from other forces, why the universe seems fine-tuned for existence, and why invisible energies shape everything we see. We live in a universe of 3 spatial dimensions: height, width, and depth, plus time. But mathematics suggests there may be many more, 10, 11, perhaps infinitely, many curled up so tightly that they're invisible to us. If you could unfold reality like paper, you might find that every point in space connects to another through hidden corridors, extra dimensions too small or too strange for light to pass through. Imagine holding a piece of cloth. To an ant walking on its surface, that cloth seems flat and infinite. It can move forward, backward, left, right, 2 dimensions of space. But you, looking from above, see a 3rd dimension: height. The ant doesn't know it's there, but you do. Now imagine you are the ant living on a 4-dimensional sheet called space-time. Perhaps other universes hover just a hair's breadth away, stacked like pages in an invisible book. You can't see or touch them, because all your senses are bound to your page. Yet sometimes the pages bend close enough that they whisper to each other. Those whispers might be the echoes. We feel subtle gravitational tugs, quantum fluctuations, unexplained phenomena that hint at something just beyond comprehension. One of the most compelling attempts to describe these hidden realms is string theory, which proposes that the fundamental building blocks of reality aren't particles at all, but tiny vibrating strings. Each vibration gives rise to a different particle: an electron, a photon, a quark. But for the math to work, these strings must vibrate in 10 or 11 dimensions. Most are invisible, compacted into minuscule loops at every point in space. The beauty of this idea lies in its harmony. It suggests that everything, matter, energy, gravity, and even space-time, emerges from one underlying melody vibrating across dimensions we can't perceive. In that sense, the universe is less like a machine and more like a song, each dimension a note, each vibration a tone. We exist not in space, but as music. Sometimes I wonder if the phenomenon we call gravity is simply our shadowy perception of higher dimensional movement. Imagine beings living on a 2-dimensional plane. They can't see above or below, only across. If a 3-dimensional object passed through their world, they would perceive it as a shape appearing, changing, and disappearing, without understanding its true form. Maybe gravity, the weakest yet most universal force, is the faint echo of something moving in those unseen directions. Perhaps black holes are not ends, but windows folds in the fabric, where higher dimensions press close enough for us to glimpse their presence. If that's true, then our entire universe could be a membrane, a brain, as physicists call it, floating in a higher dimensional space. Other brains could drift beside ours, each containing its own universe, its own stars, its own physics. Occasionally, they might brush against each other, releasing bursts of energy that look to us like new beginnings. perhaps even big bangs? If so, our cosmos might have been born not from nothing, but from contact, two realities colliding softly in the dark. The idea of hidden dimensions resonates not only with science, but with the language of myth. Ancient cultures often imagined layers of existence stacked one atop another, heavens, above underworlds, below realms of spirits and dreams beside the physical world. Perhaps they intuited what physics now suspects, that reality is layered, that there are places where the boundaries thin. And maybe consciousness itself is one of those places. Your mind moves through thoughts and memories like dimensions of its own realms that can't be measured yet shape everything you do. When you dream, your awareness slips into another landscape, unbound by time or logic. Could that inner space be an echo of the same multi-dimensional structure the universe is built upon? Maybe the bridge between physics and perception is closer than we think. There's a theory called the holographic principle that adds another layer to this mystery. It suggests that all the information in our universe, every particle, every law, every moment of time, could be encoded on a distant surface like a hologram projected into 3 dimensions. We would be shadows of a deeper, higher dimensional truth, moving through an illusion that feels perfectly real. It sounds philosophical, but it arises from real physics, from studying black holes and quantum information. In those equations, the boundary between inside and outside dissolves. Everything becomes information. Reality itself becomes a recording. If that's true, then every moment of your life, every thought, every breath is written somewhere on the edge of the universe, forever preserved as light. Sometimes I like to think of existence as a vast symphony played in multiple keys at once. You hear only one, the visible world, but faintly beneath it, other harmonies resonate. They vibrate through your dreams, through déjà vu, through those moments when reality feels thinner, when something unseen brushes the edge of awareness. Those are the echoes from other dimensions, not ghosts but gravity, not spirits but structure. And maybe when you fall asleep, you step slightly sideways, slipping between the pages of reality, feeling those other melodies more clearly. Dreams may not break the laws of physics, they might just explore more of them. One day we may find evidence of these hidden layers, tiny deviations in gravity, faint signals from extra dimensions curling at the edge of perception. Or maybe we never will. Perhaps these echoes are meant to remain subtle, like the quiet harmony beneath a melody, never overpowering, only reminding us that the song is larger than we can hear. So tonight, as you drift toward rest, imagine that you are more than your body, more than your dimension. Feel yourself as vibration, a resonance within a grand, multi-dimensional chord. The universe isn't a flat page, and you are not confined to one line of it. You are part of a structure, so vast it folds back on itself like light, bending into sound, like dreams folding into waking. Listen closely. The hum you hear between thoughts, that stillness beneath your breathing, might be the echo of another dimension, calling softly through the veil. Sleep now, across layers of time and space. You are more than you seem, and reality whispering around you is deeper than you could ever dream. What if the universe doesn't exist until it's seen? It sounds impossible, almost mystical. But in the quantum world, this isn't just poetry, it's physics. At the smallest scales of existence, the act of observation itself seems to decide what becomes real. In this strange theater of subatomic life, particles exist as waves of probability, countless possible states overlapping like ripples on water. They are not here or there, up or down, this or that. They are everything at once, potential waiting to be chosen. But the moment we look, the moment we measure, the wave collapses. one possibility becomes real. The rest fade into silence. This is the observer effect, one of the most haunting mysteries in all of science. It says that reality is not a fixed stage, but a living process that involves participation. The universe doesn't simply exist, it responds. You could say the cosmos waits for consciousness to open its eyes. The roots of this mystery go back to the early 20th century, when physicists like Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg began exploring the quantum world. They discovered that light behaves both as a wave and as a particle, depending on how we look at it. When we don't measure which path it takes, it behaves like a wave, passing through two slits and creating an interference pattern. But the moment we observe it, it chooses one slit, behaving like a particle instead. It's as though reality plays hide and seek, revealing only what we ask for. Some scientists describe it in purely mathematical terms. Observation doesn't cause the world to exist. It merely defines which outcome we experience from the set of possibilities. Others, more daring, suggest that consciousness plays an active role, that the mind itself may be part of the equation of reality. In that sense, you are not just a witness to the universe, you are one of its creators. This idea was unsettling even to its discoverers. Einstein famously resisted it. "I like to think the moon is there even when I'm not looking at it," he said. But quantum mechanics doesn't care what we like. It insists that until something is observed, it remains undefined, a superposition of maybes. The moon, of course, isn't quantum-sized. It's made of trillions of particles, each entangled and interacting, averaging out to the stable world we experience. But deep down at the foundation of everything, uncertainty still hums. Even the solidity of your hand, the chair beneath you, the walls of your room, all of it arises from fields that flicker in and out of being, waiting to be measured into form. Reality in this view is a shared act of observation on a cosmic scale. Some physicists call this the participatory universe. It suggests that consciousness and matter are intertwined in ways we don't yet understand, that perhaps the universe needs observers to bring its patterns into focus, like film that only develops when exposed to light. In the 1970 seconds, the physicist John Archibald Wheeler, who coined the term black hole, proposed a thought experiment called the delayed choice experiment. He imagined a photon traveling through space, passing through a double slit. Whether it behaves like a wave or a particle depends not on what happens then, but on what we decide to measure later. The future choice seems to determine the past behavior, as if reality waits undecided until a consciousness looks back and asks the question. You might think this is just microscopic weirdness, the quirks of quantum experiments, but the implications reach far beyond the lab. They suggest that everything we call the world is not a finished product, but a process, a co-creation between matter and mind, between energy and awareness. Maybe that's why perception feels so intimate, so powerful. Every time you look at the sky or listen to the rain or close your eyes and imagine, you are collapsing waves of possibility into experience. You are turning the potential into the present. Without you, without consciousness, there would still be energy, still be equations, still be the hum of physical law, but there might not be meaning. And perhaps meaning is the universe finally recognizing itself. The idea that observation shapes reality finds echoes in every human tradition. Mystics and philosophers have long said that perception creates the world. In Hindu thought, Maya, illusion, is the veil that consciousness casts upon the infinite. In Buddhism, the observer and the observed arise together, neither existing without the other. In Western mysticism, God is described as that which observes itself through creation. Quantum physics, unintentionally, seems to circle back to the same conclusion, that awareness is not an afterthought of matter, but a fundamental aspect of reality. What if the universe is a kind of grand experiment, a self-aware system observing itself into existence? Every star, every atom, every thought might be part of a cosmic loop, the universe generating observers and observers giving the mount, universe form. Consciousness, in that sense, isn't separate from physics. It's what physics does when it looks in the mirror. Some modern theories, like quantum information theory, even suggest that information, not matter, is the basic building block of existence. Everything we see, touch, and feel might be information being processed by reality itself. In that framework, observation isn't just noticing, it's computation, the universe updating itself in response to awareness. When you think dream, or imagine the cosmos calculates through you. So maybe you are not a bystander in this great unfolding. Maybe every thought, every perception changes the universe just a little, not through will or magic, but through participation. The light from distant galaxies reaches your eyes, and in that instant its billions of years long journey finds completion. The photon that began its travel before the Earth existed ends its story with you. That is observation, the closing of a cosmic circle. Every night you look at the stars, the universe finishes, telling one more of its ancient stories. If that's true, then the cosmos is far from indifferent. It's alive with awareness, learning itself through every form it takes. The observer and the observed are partners in an eternal dialogue. You are not a small consciousness lost in an endless void. You are the void looking back at itself and whispering, "I am here." And as you drift to sleep, remember, the world around you is not solid, not fixed. It is fluid, shimmering, unfolding with every glance, every thought, every dream. You don't live inside the universe. You co-create it moment by moment through the act of being aware. The stars shine because you see them, and in seeing them, you become the light they always were. What if the universe never truly ends? Not in distance, not in time, not even in silence. What if beyond every horizon, there is only continuation, an endless hum that never stops, only changes tone? Infinity is not a number. It is not even a destination. It is the rhythm of being itself, the pulse that keeps everything alive from galaxies to dreams. And tonight, as you listen to these words, that rhythm is moving through you. Since the dawn of awareness, humans have looked up at the stars and felt both awe and fear. The night sky seemed infinite, a black ocean of mystery calling us to wonder where it ends. But the truth whispered through physics and philosophy alike is that infinity does not end. It folds, it breathes, it repeats itself in patterns so vast they appear still. Look close enough at a snowflake, a leaf, a spiral galaxy, and you'll find echoes of the same geometry, curves upon curves, self-similar, self-aware. This is the fingerprint of infinity written in form. The whole hides in every part. The universe is not something you live inside. It's something that lives through you, just as infinity lives through time. There's a reason every equation in physics breaks when it tries to describe the very beginning or the ultimate end. The math spirals into infinities, values that blow up beyond comprehension. To some, that means the equations fail. But maybe they are trying to tell us something profound, that there is no final boundary, only transitions. The universe is not a story with an ending, it's a song that modulates forever. Perhaps the Big Bang was not a beginning but a note in an eternal melody, a crescendo in an infinite composition. When that note faded, another began, softer, slower, yet still carrying the same vibration. Maybe countless universes have existed before this one, each giving birth to the next, like breath to breath. And maybe death too is just such a breath, an inhale and an exhale of existence, moving from one form to another. Infinity can feel frightening, a void too vast to imagine. But if you listen carefully, it also feels peaceful, because within it, nothing is ever truly lost. Everything becomes part of the ongoing whole. Every photon that escapes a dying star, every atom scattered by time, every thought you've ever had continues in some form. The energy that once burned in stars now flows in your bloodstream. The carbon that forms your body was once in the heart of a Sunday. The breath you take was exhaled by mountains, forests, and forgotten creatures. Infinity is not out there, it is within you. When you breathe, the universe breathes with you. Scientists once feared the universe would die, that it would expand forever until all energy thinned into nothing. They called it the heat death, a future where entropy wins and stars fade into blackness. But even that vision may not be the end. Quantum physics suggests that fluctuations never cease even in the coldest void. From those fluctuations, new universes could emerge, tiny sparks of creation, lighting up new infinities. Death then becomes another kind of birth. Silence becomes another kind of song. Even if this cosmos fades, another will rise, carrying the same laws, the same mathematics, the same potential for wonder. The cycle repeats not identically, but eternally. You might think that makes you small, but it makes you infinite too. Infinity is not only the vastness of space, it is also the depth of the present. Right now, within this single moment, countless events are unfolding in your body, in your thoughts, in the galaxies beyond. The now contains eternity, compressed into awareness. When you notice that you feel something strange, the boundaries of self begin to blur. You stop feeling separate. You realize that the silence around you is the same silence between your atoms, the same hum that vibrates through the fabric of reality. That is the lullaby of infinity, the quiet realization that everything moves together, even when it seems apart. If you could step outside of time and see the whole universe at once, it wouldn't look like a straight line with a start and finish. It would look like a spiral looping through itself, endlessly stars born, shining, dying, becoming stars again, life rising, fading, transforming, returning, consciousness awakening, sleeping, dreaming, and awakening again. Perhaps you've already lived 1,000 times in 1,000 forms under 1,000 skies. The universe might be infinite not because it's large, but because it never stops remembering. Infinity, after all, is not about size, it's about connection. The physicist Roger Penrose once suggested that universes might pass information forward, that the cosmic background radiation, the faint glow left from the Big Bang, might carry traces of the universe that came before ours. If he's right, then even creation remembers its ancestors. Memory is another form of infinity, the way time loops inward instead of outward. Maybe the reason we dream is because infinity dreams through us. Close your eyes. Feel the vastness behind them. That space, the inner sky of the mind, is as boundless as the one outside. Thought, imagination, and consciousness are not limited by scale. They are microcosms of the infinite. When you imagine a galaxy, your neurons light up in a pattern shaped by that same universe. Infinity has found a way to think about itself. Every thought is a ripple on its surface. Every heartbeat is its echo. And someday, when you return to silence, when your atoms scatter back into the stars, the universe will not mourn. It will continue your song in 1,000 other forms, as light as wind, as thought. You will not vanish. You will only change tempo. because infinity never stops singing. The lullaby of the cosmos isn't a melody of words or sounds, but of presence, the constant vibration of being that never ceases. It is the hum beneath every silence, the note that connects all others, the still point in the endless dance. So rest now. Let the sound of infinity cradle you. You are not drifting away. You are returning to the same quiet rhythm that began before time and will continue long after memory. Sleep, child of stars. The universe is still singing, and its song is you.